Heartbreak hotel, he's a lonely baby. He's so lonely, he's so lonely, I could die.
What's up, guys? So, the subject of this video is sparked by listening to a FTD that is one of my favorites. It's called Return to Vegas. It is one CD set by FTD. A lot of you guys don't know what FTD means. FTD are the abbreviations for the Follow That Dream label that Graceland produces. It's like, I mean, it's not Graceland, it's Sony, but Elvis Presley Enterprises pushes this because this is like a label geared for the hardcore collectors. And I actually started my channel doing reviews of this. If you guys search down to the bottom of my channel with like my first few videos of this channel were all FTDs, like the first 10 or 12. But so the point of this video is I want to do a review of this FTD because it's great, and I really recommend that you all get it. You can get it at ElvisistheMan. Or, not Elvis. Oh, you can get it at Elvis.com. But this is a video that I'm going to review with the actual CD and also what the Hilton did for Elvis. And they paid an expense of like 8 people for him and 8 other people to go to Hawaii. All expense paid, but that will be towards the end of this video. So first, this recording, this soundboard recording is the closest we have to opening night 1969. Like, we all would love to have the recording and the video of it, and some say it actually exists, but I would love to have that recording. But this is the closest to that. This is the first recording of that comeback season. Now I'm gonna play you guys like 5 or 6 clips of this concert, and it just shows how different it is, because what actually happened was RCA came in at the end of August, towards the end of this engagement, and started recording professionally. And you know, we have these crisp, clear recordings, but this one is not so good. The clarity is not as perfect as later in this season, but it's really awesome because the historical content that we have on this FTD. Now, a soundboard is like where the actual arena, and in this case the showroom, recorded the concert, and it is so much different. The beginning of this engagement is so much different than the end. So for one, Elvis was super nervous and anxious about getting back on stage for the first time. He didn't know if people would receive him well. He didn't know if he still had it left in him to really sing, because Elvis did the whole 60s except for 61, where he did a few benefit shows in Hawaii. Elvis didn't perform live for anybody. He just did the 68 comeback special, which was very successful for him, but he was very nervous for that closed, that, you know, small stage where he had to perform 4 concerts, 2 sit-downs and 2 stand-ups. Now Elvis was going to go to the biggest showroom in Nevada, in Vegas, and Vegas was picked because a lot of people from around the world can make it to Vegas. It's a point where they can all be there. And also, this was the first night where, like, you know, all the celebrities would be there, his peers would be there. There was a lot of pressure on Elvis, and Elvis had stage fright. He was really nervous, and I was reading a few reviews about this the other night, and it says that, like, the first few songs where Elvis would put his hand to the mic, like, his hand was visibly shaking, and it was shaking like we see in the 1968 comeback special where he does Heartbreak Hotel, which I'll show you right now.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell.
So listen here, I'm going to play about 4 or 5 clips of what I'm talking about at this concert. So this is pretty close to opening night. I mean, the reviews are that they gave him multiple standing ovations, and right when Elvis came out to sing Blue Suede Shoes, he was so nervous, but the crowd gave him a standing ovation right from the bat and just cheered him on throughout the whole song. Can you believe that? I would love to see film of that. And then after Blue Suede Shoes, Elvis turns around to the band and just kind of shrugs his shoulders like, hey, this can't be so hard. And he goes on to the next. But here is like my favorite points of this concert, which is August 3rd. Elvis opened August 31st. So a few nights later, he did this. But it's very close to the original, you have to imagine. So here's a few snippets of songs from my favorite points of this show where it can illustrate how slow the pace is. Elvis was not rushed at this point. He was not going through the motions at all. He was giving it his all. And listen just to his voice and how the feel of maybe that January or July 31st, 1969 opening went.
See, they don't know what I'm going to do when I do that, man. I could be doing any song in the world, you know. Oh, well, the bless of my soul, oh, what's wrong with me? My heart beats so it scares me to death as you touch your my hand. Oh, what a chill I've got. A lip so light, a bubble feeling that's hot. I'm proud to say that you're my, but it could come in love. I'd like to thank you for coming out. This is my first appearance and first live appearance in 9 years. Thank you. Heartbreak Hotel, he's a lonely baby. He's a lonely, he's so lonely, I could die. Yeah. Look on it. I'm the king of the jungle, they call me Tiger. Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. Especially for you, I'd like to do a song. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with.
So that's why this is one of my favorite FTDs because, like I said, RCA came in later on that month and started recording, and by then Elvis had his show and it was a lot faster pace. This one is a much slower pace. You get to hear Elvis really sing during the slow songs like Can't Help Falling in Love, Love Me Tender, which I didn't put in there actually, but it's a pretty good recording also. So that's that. Now also, you all know that Elvis received a gold belt for breaking all the attendance records in Vegas. But another thing that they did, which I totally forgot about but just remembered last night, is that the Hilton paid for Elvis to have a vacation to Hawaii with, and also bring along 8 other people. And one of those persons was Tom Jones. And Elvis and Tom were really good friends, especially at that time. And so Elvis decided to bring Tom, and they went to Hawaii. And here's the interesting point here. Elvis, after the Hawaii part of the vacation, wanted to go to Europe. Okay, now, you know I've been making a few videos about the Colonel and how the Colonel didn't want him to go overseas for anything. And you say, well, what about the Army? He went there, but he had to go there. What was he going to do? He wasn't going to dodge the draft. He went there, but, you know, the Colonel never left. Some say that are for the Colonel that, oh, he just wanted to keep business good in America. But Colonel never went overseas with Elvis. Okay, so listen to this point. Elvis and Priscilla and his friends wanted to go to Europe and extend their vacation even longer because after August, Elvis didn't have anything planned until January where he opened up at you know, for his second engagement in Vegas, because right after this first engagement, like that night, which would be August 1st, the Colonel wrote down on a tablecloth extended contract that extended him till 1974 and increased his pay to over $100,000 and per night. And so Elvis didn't have any movies lined up. Change of Habit was his final movie. He didn't have anything lined up. There were no tours planned. And just a side note, at a few weeks into August, the Colonel decided to get Elvis at the Houston Astrodome at the rodeo there to perform a few shows there. But so Elvis didn't have anything planned, like I'm saying, until January, February 1970. So he had time to spare. He wanted to go to Europe and to travel over there and sightsee, but the Colonel made a big stink about it. He didn't want him to go over there because the Colonel's reason was, Elvis, don't go over there because you're going over there to sightsee and enjoy yourself, and the European fans will be offended that you're not going over there to perform. And which could be, a logical reason, and maybe Elvis decided to go along with that, trusting Colonel's judgment. But the thing is, when Elvis did eventually want to go over there, the Colonel always be like, no, we can't travel over there, security would be too hard, and blah, blah, blah. But Led Zeppelin was going over there, Rolling Stones were going over there, Beatles went overseas, but Elvis couldn't. Oh, security would be too bad for him. In my opinion, that was excuses that Colonel was making to get Elvis to not go overseas because, for one, Colonel, as we know, was didn't have he was illegal, so if he got caught overseas, he couldn't go back. So he wanted to keep Elvis, in my opinion, in America, and a lot of people's opinion, in America, because that's where he had control of him. So Elvis decides to go to the Bahamas, and when he finally gets down there, he has to cut his trip short because there's hurricane-type winds and bad weather down there, so he can't even enjoy it in the Bahamas when he should have went to Europe and did what he wanted to do. Elvis really needed to follow his own intuition with all these things with the Colonel because he was always right. And a lot of times we see that Elvis, when he followed his own intuition, when he decided to do the comeback special in, his style, doing gospel, doing his songs, to actually have it be a comeback, that succeeded when the Colonel just wanted to be a Christmas special. And I can go on and on. But this is something I wanted to share with you guys about how Elvis actually wanted to go overseas for even a vacation, but Colonel tried to stop that and say, no, your fans won't like it, and, tried to scare him out of it to get his point. And actually, Colonel had connections in the Bahamas, and they all decided to go there, and guess what? There was tons of gambling that went on there, for Colonel Parker. So I hope you've enjoyed this story. And tell me in the comments what you think about it. I know this is a long video, but there's tons of points to be made. And I wanted you to see all these audio clips and the audience film footage from that early August Vegas season. So thank you for all the new subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share these videos so we can get them out and other Elvis fans can learn and enjoy the content that you're enjoying. So check me out on Elvis is the Man Instagram and have a great day.